Hello my loves, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. It's always nice to see the faces that has been here before, but if you're new here, I also love seeing the new faces. So anyways, my name is Darcy and on today's video we're sharing hobbies to keep you surviving. As someone who works a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, I completely understand how challenging it is to actually do things outside of work because you're so exhausted, and I end up feeling like my life is passing me by, and I don't like this at all. I started incorporating some activities after work. Sometimes it would be going out with my friends, but sometimes it would just be coming home and doing something home rather than just going to bed. I assure you little things like that make such a big difference. So I wanted to go into 10 hobbies that you could get into, help you to live a much more fulfilling and enjoyable life. The first hobby we're getting into is flower arranging, and this hobby is so pretty. It feels so peaceful. It makes your home look pretty. It also feels a bit luxurious and even romantic. I just love flower arranging. I actually just started getting into it, but I've been having so much fun doing it. And while flower arranging might seem expensive, it is something you can absolutely start on a budget. If you have Trader Joe's around you especially, that is the best place to go to. That's usually where I go to get myself flowers. For example, yesterday I actually went and got myself these flowers. I got these yellow carnations, white baby breath, and some eucalyptus in there, and then I came home and put them all together. I feel like I've actually done better jobs at flower arranging. I think this one is kind of okay, but at the end of the day, it looks so pretty, and when I'm doing them, I play some super nice peaceful music. I'll leave my playlist down here also, just in case you guys are interested, but it is such a peaceful activity and something I recommend when you're starting out. You need at least 2 or 3 flowers, and honestly, it does not have to be expensive. These all together was $15. I think the baby breath is like $3.99. The eucalyptus was $3.99, and I think the yellow carnations was also around $3.99 or $4.99. So it really wasn't expensive at all. And then you just come home, play some nice music while you're arranging them, and you can literally put them together however you want. If you want to go extra, there are tapes that you can put on top of your vase and then put the flowers in specific spaces so that it actually stays like that. There's so many ways you can get into it. You can also have shorter vases. You can have different shapes of vases. And then you can also have different bouquets. Next, I actually want to get into bigger flowers. For example, I feel like this doesn't stand out as well as it could because all the flowers are around the same size. So what I would recommend is, if you can, try to make your main flower a big one, like white roses, red, pink roses, yellow, whatever, and then always get a greenery. I love eucalyptus because when it kind of has healing properties when you have it around your house. The smell is strong, but also I love the way it stands out. I feel like it makes the bouquet, for me, I don't like when my bouquets are just circular shapes. I kind of like to have branches poking out. That's why if you see this, I have like this poking out and these poking out. I prefer it when it kind of looks a bit wonky, if that makes sense. So that's how I kind of like to have my flower arrangements be done. Okay, the next hobby I want to mention is learning a new language. There's so many benefits to learning a new language. One, you know a new language. How fun is that? As someone who speaks 3 languages currently, I'm actually trying to learn a 4th one, simply because I find it so fun and I think languages are so interesting. I also want to get into movies and music in different languages just to kind of like expand my horizon. And also, if you ever travel to those countries, you already know their languages and you really don't have to try so hard to understand the local. When I traveled to Puerto Rico earlier this year, it was so hard trying to understand people. I was saying little things here and there, trying to be more serious about learning Spanish so that next time I go to any Spanish speaking country, and I think it's one of the most common languages spoken in the world anyway, so I think it's a good language to learn how to speak. But I also find it so fun. Like, my friends and I all the time will switch to Creole or French whenever we want to, just because we can. And especially if we're near other people and we don't want to speak English because we want our conversations to remain private, we'll often switch to a different language. So I think that's also a really fun thing to do. And you can literally start learning a new language for free. There are apps out there, I think, like Duolingo, Babel. You can even start on Pinterest or Google, where there are so many people actually giving out free resources on languages. So I think that's a fun one, and that's free, and that's something you can come home and do. Third hobby is gardening. Gardening is another hobby that I've actually started getting into this year. The minute March turned around and I learned that I could start planting my little seeds, I got into it. I'll show you guys some pictures. I have them right outside by my patio. The plan is to have a patio slash balcony garden with little tables and then eventually do garden parties with my friends. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to a garden club tomorrow. That will also be my first time volunteering there, so I'm also looking forward to that. I think it's so exciting. Gardening is also super peaceful, but there's also something so fulfilling about watching seeds grow into plants and then they flower and they even give you fruits that you can eat. You can eat the vegetables. It's so fulfilling. When I was starting my gardening, the things I needed were obviously the seeds. You'll need the seeds and you'll need soil. There's specific soil for starting your seeds, so you would look up seed starting soil on Amazon, for example. And then I got these little trays. It came with a whole lot of trays that I can plant my little seeds in, and that was literally it. I would say that would cost $30 to $40. You can even go to Home Depot to get seeds. The seed packets run for $1 sometimes. I got some for $1, $1.49. There are seeds that are easier to grow than others. Next is knitting. I don't knit, but my sister has been knitting for over 2 years now, and she creates hearts. She has knit her own bag. She has knit a little purse for her book. She's always knitting, and it seems like such a peaceful activity for her, and I would assume it is because she still continues to do it and continues to knit everything that she wants to knit. I think it's such a cute activity. The things are also inexpensive. All you would need is the knitting ball thing, like the thread, and then some needles, and those are all things you can get on Amazon for $5 to $15, and then you can do that again at home. You don't have to go anywhere, and you can do it all by yourself. You get to create things. You could create clothes, bags, whatever you wanted. I think that's also such a fulfilling activity to have around the summer, or just even in the winter, especially when you definitely do not want to go outside. Next hobby is tennis. Tennis is a fun activity, but it's also an exercise. So if you're someone who don't really want to go to the gym and you don't want to do any kind of exercises, I think tennis is something that you could look into. When I was starting tennis, I think last year with my sister, we literally just got the tennis balls, tennis racket, and we went to a park by our house and we played. So that's literally all you need, the rackets and the balls, and then you can go ahead and just start playing tennis. I also think the outfits for tennis are super cute. The little white skirts, the caps, I love it. Next is candle making. Candle making can be super fun, and also you get to make your own candles in whatever scents you like. I used to actually make candles to sell. I might insert a picture here. I used to go to like farmers market with my candles. My candles used to be more affirmation centered, like you are beautiful, and I love those. Two of my favorite candles that I used to make was this one where I mixed lavender and vanilla together. That was my favorite scent ever. And then there was another one that was a sea scented candle. It was so good, and I used to think candle making would be something that was super difficult, but it really isn't, especially if you're starting as a way to have fun for yourself and have your own candles in your house. There's so many websites online. One I remember it is Kindle Science. Actually, to this day, I still have a bunch of wax at my mom's and a bunch of fragrances. So if I ever want to make candles, I could just go back to my mom and make candles. But I remember it being so fun. A lot of these hobbies are hobbies that you can actually turn into money-making projects. I don't love doing that with hobbies that I really enjoy, because I think that's the quickest way to take the fun out of it, to turn it into a money-making situation. You can get a kit from Amazon. It'll come with the candle wax, the wicks, the jars, everything that you actually would need for maybe $30. So I really recommend that. You could bring your friends to your house, you could take it to your friend's place and just have fun making candles with each other. Next is art collecting. I feel like that one might be the pricier hobby of them all. It doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars, but it will cost a bit because art is expensive, but that's something, if you find it fun, you could always get into. But honestly, instead of art collecting, I would even say start painting yourself. My friends and I used to do a lot of sip and paints at our own spaces, where we would get the canvases, someone would bring the paint, someone would bring the liquor, and then we would just have fun painting. And I actually had a lot of my own paintings around my space. And something my friends and I used to also do was actually paint kind of vulgar images. I don't recommend unless you want to laugh a lot. So I really had a lot of fun doing that too. If you want to get into art collecting, you could look on Etsy or just private sellers and buy stuff. I don't know what number I'm at anymore, but my next hobby would be to learn a new instrument. I took piano classes when I was in middle school, but I only know how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. I literally just know how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb and London Bridge is Falling Down, that one. So I know 2 songs and the piano, but that is something eventually I want to reclaim. I think it's super fun to know an instrument. There's something so classy and elegant about knowing how to play an instrument, especially like the piano or violin, just anything, honestly. Next hobby is dancing, and that's anything. You could dance ballet, contemporary, hip hop. You could learn how to dance on a pole. That's going to be my next thing. I've been wanting to do pole dancing for forever now. That has to be my next thing. My boyfriend and I, we went to bachata lessons last year, and that was also really fun. It's also a nice bonding activity that we got to do with each other, and then we'd come home and dance. It's super romantic. But the class we went to, they actually had you switch partners every round, so you also got to meet new people. It was a really fun activity. I think that was $50 every month, so that's not bad. I don't know, it depends on your budget. You could also even learn through YouTube. A lot of these things you could literally just go on YouTube and look up bachata classes and then start doing them. When I wanted to learn some burlesque moves, that's what I did. I went on YouTube and looked up burlesque dancing tutorials, and then I would just do them. I also love the art of burlesque. Oof. Dita Von Teese, you guys, if you don't know who Dita Von Teese is, if you like burlesque and sensuality, Dita Von Teese is the person to learn from. Go watch her videos and you'll have such a great time. Last hobby is to learn how to cook new cuisines, but take it a step further and learn to plate them almost in a restaurant style kind of way. That's something I really enjoy doing, even when I'm eating all by myself. I love cooking in general. I would literally be at work thinking about what food to buy, looking up new recipes, looking up whatever to come home and make new food. Cuisines that I recently got into was Indian. One of my coworkers is Indian, and she was telling me about butter chicken and tikka masala. So I went home on a Saturday and I invited my friends and we made tikka masala for the first time, and it was delicious. Next, I want to get into Thai food because I absolutely love Thai food. So that's going to be the next thing I get into. But that's also something that doesn't really have to be expensive. The way I see it is that you're gonna eat anyways, might as well just try some new cuisines. If you don't want to start with new cuisines, you could always start with new foods that you haven't cooked, but you're more likely to have the ingredients at home. That way you don't have to spend a lot of money. Because when I was making the tikka masala, I didn't have many of the seasonings that are true to Indian cuisines, like the garam masala. I don't think I had coriander. It was over $40 for that one meal. So it might be pricey, but it really depends on what you want to eat. Like, for example, next time I want to start making empanadas because I love Caesar's empanadas. I love Mexican food in general. So, and that is all for the hobbies. I hope I give you guys some new and fresh ideas and you'll actually get into them and start enjoying your summer more. But not just the summer, just life in general, because I think hobbies make life just much more fulfilling. You just deserve more than to be working Monday to Friday. Like, use your money. You don't have to use all of it. I know the economy is hard, trust me, but you know, also it's important that you also have fun in this life and we're not just working. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Which of these hobbies you might get into, or if you already have so many hobbies, please let us know down in the comments below. We're always looking for more. I was trying to rhyme. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys, so please comment anything and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.